Welcome back to the Malaysia Money Matters show, everyone. It's November 29th, 2024, and we've got a packed show for you today.
Definitely a lot to cover.
Let's jump right in. We'll start with some company news and then look at global updates that could impact our market.
Sounds good.
Okay, first up, some somber news. Ananda Krishnan, a major figure in the Malaysian business world, has passed away.
Oh, wow, at 86, right?
Yeah.
He built quite an empire.
Yeah, telecommunications, oil and gas, you name it. Companies like Maxis, Astro Malaysia, Bumi Armada, all part of his legacy.
It's incredible how he managed to stay out of the spotlight for so long. He was a master deal maker, but always behind the scenes.
Right, and that's what makes it so interesting. There's not much public info about his succession plans.
Yeah, adds a layer of uncertainty for sure. Could have a big impact on the market depending on how things shake out.
Definitely something to watch closely. Now let's move on to 5G. Remember all the back and forth about DNB, the company handling the rollout?
Yeah, the concerns about transparency, how the network was being managed.
Right, but then the digital minister stepped in and reassured everyone that everything was in order.
And he emphasized that the telcos themselves had done their due diligence before investing.
Yeah, almost like they gave DNB their unofficial seal of approval.
Exactly. But then the government is still going ahead with that second 5G network, the one led by U-Mobile.
Yeah, why do that if DNB is supposedly doing a good job? It's a bit perplexing.
Well, the decision for the second network was made before all this. And the second network won't launch until the government recoups its DNB investment.
Oh, I see. So it's more about a smooth transition without any losses for the government.
Exactly. It all makes sense when you break it down.
Okay, that makes more sense. But there's been a lot of talk about the cost of DNB's 5G rollout. Some say it's 16.5 billion ringgit.
Right. But that figure needs context. It's spread over 10 years, and a lot of it's private loans. The government's direct contribution is much smaller.
So not as big of a burden on taxpayers as it might seem at first glance.
Exactly. Perspective is everything.
Now, switching gears to public bank. They've successfully acquired a large chunk of LPI Capital.
And they've extended a general offer for the remaining shares. This deal's been in the works for a while now.
It has.
Uh-huh.
It'll be interesting to see how this changes the landscape.
Definitely. Lots of moving pieces in that sector.
For sure. Speaking of the insurance industry, there's a lot of concern about rising health insurance premiums.
Yeah, the central bank has even stepped in. They're urging insurance companies to be more reasonable with the increases.
But they've also acknowledged the huge increase in medical claim costs, right?
Yeah, over 50% in the past 3 years. It's a tough situation for everyone.
Wow, that's a massive jump. What's driving those increases?
A few things, really. Treatment costs are rising, medical technology is getting more advanced and expensive, and people are using healthcare services more often.
I see. So it's a combination of factors. Tough for insurance companies to balance affordability with their own financial stability.
Absolutely. They review and adjust premiums every 3 years, and this time claims inflation has hit them hard.
Makes sense. Now, some good news. Hong Leong Bank is reporting strong first quarter results.
Net profit is up almost 6%, driven by both interest income and non-interest income.
That's great to hear. What are they attributing that to?
A few things, really. Strong loan portfolio, smart asset and liability management, and a prudent approach to risk.
All good signs.
Definitely. And while we're on the topic of positive results, Tenaga Nasional BHD, TNB, has seen a huge jump in profit.
85% for their third quarter. That's remarkable.
It is. A significant chunk of that comes from favorable foreign exchange gains, though.
Ah, I see. So external factors played a role, but they've also had solid revenue growth from higher electricity sales.
Exactly. A combination of factors working in their favor.
Not all companies are celebrating wins this week, though Genting BHD saw their third quarter profit drop by more than half.
Ouch. What happened there?
They took a big hit because of a write-off on their property, plant, and equipment. Plus, their leisure and hospitality division isn't performing as well as they'd hoped.
Especially Resorts World Sentosa in Singapore and Resorts World Genting here.
Right. Tough times for that sector.
Definitely higher operating expenses in some of their key segments haven't helped either.
It's a mixed bag for them, but their operations in the UK and Egypt are actually showing improvement.
Yeah, some bright spots amidst the challenges.
Hopefully they can keep navigating those choppy waters. Now, let's look at CIMB Group Holdings BHD, Malaysia's second largest bank.
They're reporting almost a 10% increase in net profit for their third quarter. Both interest income and non-interest income are up.
It's impressive given the global economic uncertainties we're seeing.
They seem confident about hitting their profitability targets for 2024, too.
That's good to hear what's driving their success.
steady loan growth, a better cost-to-income ratio, and positive trends in asset quality.
Okay, lots of positive signs there. Speaking of good news, Yinson Renewables has secured a big financing deal for a solar project in Peru.
$59 million for their Matarani solar project, a major step for them.
It is. Why is this project such a big deal?
It's their first non-subsidized solar project in Peru to get this kind of financing. Plus, it marks a key moment in their expansion in Latin America.
I see. So they're putting their money where their mouth is when it comes to sustainable development.
Exactly. And speaking of investments, Catch Digital BHD is buying a majority stake in software as a service provider, Nexible Solutions, SDN BHD.
That's interesting. How much are they paying?
Over 11 million ringgit. But the payment is tied to specific profit targets.
That's a smart move, incentivizing Nexible to perform well.
Right. And based on Nexible's recent track record, it looks promising.
Let's move on to the property sector. Rollout BHD has launched a new precinct in their Bandar Sarjana Utama master plan in Sungai Buloh, Selangor.
A big project gross development value of over 350 million ringgit.
Wow. What's the response been like so far?
Really strong. High demand for the first phase, and very few buyers dropping out.
What are some of the features that are attracting buyers?
A mix of options from landed homes to commercial plots and affordable housing. They've also got a big lake park with lots of amenities.
Sounds appealing. Now, back to banking analysts. Analysts are saying AMB Holdings BHD could give out bigger dividends than expected.
It's based on their strong capital position and positive earnings growth.
And they've already increased their dividends per share compared to last year.
They have lots of factors supporting this positive outlook. A robust investment banking pipeline, stable net interest margins, loan growth, and provision write-backs.
All good signs for investors. Let's zoom in on Penang now. Big changes happening at Penang International Airport.
They're getting a major upgrade, costing an estimated 1.55 billion ringgit.
That's a lot of money. Where's the funding coming from?
Almost all of it's from a private financing initiative.
That's good to know. What's included in this expansion?
It's a 3-phase project to boost the airport's capacity. They're also relocating a nearby school and giving them a compensation plan.
Sounds like they're handling it carefully. Moving on to Radium Development BHD, they're focusing on sustainability.
They've partnered with Green RE SDN BHD to implement green building practices.
That's great to hear. What exactly are they doing?
They're aiming for eco-friendly communities and getting certifications to show their commitment to green building standards.
So walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Exactly. They're also addressing the lack of pet-friendly spaces in KL, adding a new pet-friendly lifestyle park to their Chancery Ampang project.
That's a smart move, tapping into a growing market.
Now over to Sarawak. Sarawak Metro Setiani BHD is setting a high bar for transparency.
They've invited the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission and the Sarawak Integrity and Ombudsman Unit to watch their upcoming audit.
Wow, that's bold. It shows they're serious about accountability.
Absolutely. Zero tolerance for corruption. I like that, speaking of accountability, the Prime Minister has defended the government's decision to lease helicopters for our security forces.
It's a 16 billion ringgit 15-year contract, right?
Yeah, some people have raised concerns about the cost.
But the Prime Minister says it's a strategic move to manage the financial burden of owning and maintaining helicopters.
It makes sense. Maintenance costs can be astronomical.
Exactly. And they went through a proper bidding process to choose the contractor.
Okay, good to know. Now, an update on the Johor-Singapore Special Economic Zone. The review of the draft agreement is almost done.
They're hoping to finalize it by December and sign it during the Malaysia-Singapore Annual Leaders Retreat.
The goal is to attract those high-value investments and create good jobs in Johor, right?
Yes, focusing on sectors like digital technology, green energy, and advanced electronics.
Sounds promising. Let's check in with the MACC now. They've finished their investigation into those government investments in Fashion Valet.
The one where Khazanah Nasional and Permodalan Nasional BHD lost money.
Yeah, that one. What happens now?
The MACC has handed over their findings to their legal team. We'll see if any charges are filed.
Okay, last but not least, the Transport Ministry is updating those old maritime laws.
The Merchant Shipping Ordinance from 1952 and the related Port Acts definitely due for an update.
Why now? What's the reason for the overhaul?
They want to make sure our laws are in line with today's practices and international standards. Plus, it's about strengthening port governance and supporting our shipping and maritime industries.
Makes sense. It's all about staying competitive and adapting to a changing world.
Exactly.
Well, that's a wrap for part one. We've covered a lot, but there's still much more to come. Stay with us.
Phew. Quite a bit. We got through there.
That's just the tip of the iceberg. We've got plenty more to dig into.
I'm ready when you are.
Let's start with a good news story. The National Kidney Foundation, the NKF, they won a big legal battle.
Oh, yeah, the one about their tax-exempt status?
Exactly. It was revoked back in 2020, but they fought it in court, and the High Court ruled in their favor.
So their tax-exempt status is back in effect. That's a huge relief for them and for the people they help.
Absolutely. Now let's switch gears to politics. There's an update on the appeal against the Deputy Prime Minister's acquittal in the foreign visa bribery case.
Zahid Hamidi, right. That case has been going on forever.
It has. What's the latest?
The prosecution asked for a postponement. They want the new attorney general to have time to get up to speed.
I see. But the Court of Appeal already warned against more delays.
They did. This case is especially interesting because it comes after Zahid was discharged, not acquitted, in that other case with the Yayasan Booty funds.
Yeah, a lot of legal complexities there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to something that's getting a lot of attention these days. Rare earth elements.
Ah, yes. Essential for so many technologies.
The Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, MITI, they're in talks to change the Mineral Development Act from way back in 1994.
What are they trying to do?
It's all about boosting the rare earth elements industry here in Malaysia. They want to attract investment, encourage innovation, the whole package.
Makes sense. Got to stay ahead of the curve in those key industries.
Absolutely. And speaking of staying ahead, there's exciting news about battery energy storage systems, or BES.
Those are key for the electricity grid, right?
Exactly. The bidding process for these projects is about to start, and it's going to be transparent and open.
That's good to hear. How much are they investing?
It's a substantial amount, divided into 4 separate projects. Commercial operations are expected to start in 2026.
Wow, a long-term vision. And it's not just about the money. These systems will make the grid more reliable and let us use more renewable energy.
Precisely. Speaking of long-term visions, Penang is exploring the idea of a special financial zone.
Interesting. What's the thinking behind that?
They see it as a way to boost the economy, attract investment, create jobs, the whole 9 yards.
Ambitious. Where are they at with it now?
The Penang Institute is doing a study, and they've held public workshops to get feedback.
And what's the response been like?
Overwhelmingly positive. People see the potential for job creation, more capital, and a boost for the advanced manufacturing sector.
Sounds promising. But I'm sure there are concerns too, right?
Oh, of course. The usual suspects: traffic congestion, talent shortages, salary expectations. Plus, they need to figure out the best location.
It's always a balancing act with these big projects.
Now let's zoom out and look at what's happening beyond Malaysia. There are a few global developments that could affect our market.
What are you thinking of?
Well, the U.S. is about to announce new restrictions on selling advanced chips to China.
Oh, wow. Another escalation in the tech war.
It is. They want to limit China's access to those crucial technologies, but U.S. chip makers aren't happy about it.
I can imagine. They don't want to lose business to foreign competitors.
Exactly. It's a tough spot for the U.S. government. They're trying to protect national security and keep their tech industry strong.
A delicate balance for sure.
And it doesn't stop there. The U.S. is also working with Japan and the Netherlands to coordinate these restrictions.
Trying to make them more effective, I guess.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the South Korean central bank surprised everyone by cutting interest rates again.
2 rate cuts in a row. That's not something you see every day.
It's a sign that they're worried about the economy. They're trying to boost growth and deal with slowing inflation.
But doesn't that risk making inflation worse in the long run?
It's a gamble. They've also lowered their growth forecasts, so they're clearly not optimistic.
Okay, let's move on to China. Their property market is still struggling.
Fitch Ratings is saying the slump will continue into 2025 despite the government's efforts.
So cutting borrowing costs and easing buying restrictions hasn't been enough.
Not really. Things are improving in big cities, but smaller cities are still in trouble, and prices for existing homes are still dropping.
Not a good sign.
Yeah.
Okay, last but not least, the Asian Development Bank has a new president.
Masato Kanda, the former top currency diplomat from Japan.
He's known for his aggressive moves in the currency market. He earned the nickname Mr. Yen.
He's got a big job ahead of him, leading the ADB through some tough times, helping Asia fight poverty and climate change.
It's a crucial role, and he's certainly got the experience.
We'll have to wait and see how he tackles these challenges and what his vision for the ADD is.
That's a great point. Every leader brings their own style and priorities. But we're not done yet. We still have more to discuss, including a major infrastructure project in Hong Kong.
Okay, ready for the final stretch.
Bring it on.
Let's kick things off with Hong Kong. They're making some interesting moves to attract big money.
They're really pulling out all the stops to become a global wealth management hub.
Tax breaks, new infrastructure, the whole package.
Exactly. They're planning to offer some serious tax incentives to lure in hedge funds, private equity firms, family offices, you name it.
Tax breaks are always a good way to get attention. What kind of incentives are we talking about?
They're proposing to waive taxes on investment gains from a wide range of assets.
That's pretty significant. What kind of assets?
Stocks, bonds, real estate, even cryptocurrencies.
Cryptocurrencies. Wow, that's a bold move. Most countries are still trying to figure out how to regulate crypto, and Hong Kong is offering tax breaks.
It shows how serious they are about becoming a leader in the digital asset space. They're embracing the crypto revolution, hoping it'll bring in a wave of new capital.
It's a gamble, but it could pay off big time. Speaking of big investments, Hong Kong is also putting a lot of money into infrastructure.
You're talking about that new third runway at Hong Kong International Airport?
That's the one, a massive project to increase capacity and efficiency.
It's a statement to the world that Hong Kong is here to stay, a global hub for the long haul.
Absolutely. They're thinking long-term, planning for future growth.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground today.
We have. From company news and market trends to global politics and technological advancements, it's been quite a ride.
Our goal was to give you a clear picture of what's happening in Malaysia and beyond, both the good and the bad.
We've highlighted the opportunities and the challenges, the successes and the setbacks that are shaping the financial landscape.
We hope you found it informative and helpful.
If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to subscribe to the Malaysia Money Matters podcast.
We'll be back soon with more insights and analysis to help you stay ahead of the curve.
Until then, thanks for listening.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If you would like a deeper dive into all the investment opportunities from today's news, subscribe to my newsletter at moneymatters.substack.com. I will be sharing a deeper analysis of the key investment opportunities from today's news, including what makes these opportunities stand out and how they fit into the broader market trends. By subscribing to the Malaysia Money Matters newsletter, you will also get exclusive insights on my watch list and portfolio and fundamental reports on Malaysian listed companies.